one study done almost 15 years back in a group of children in a semi-urban schools, in 6 semi-urban schools in and around Chennai city, between the age of 12 and 18. And this is something which has not been published or printed, but this is a reality. 50% of the children were obese. That means a BMI of about 25. Out of those 50%, almost 30 to 40% of the girls or children were obese, were hypertensive. That means their BP between the age of 12 and 18 was above 140/90. So imagine in the 15 years, they have become adults today. So they are already hypertensive. Hypertension is another reality which we are ignoring because of bad lifestyle, because of poor sleeping habit. Insomnia is another non-communicable disease which we do not take into consideration. A mandatory 6 hours of sleep is important. Which is, if so, we look at diabetes, Indian capital, yes, cancer screening, poor cancer screening, pre-hypertension and undetected hypertension, yes, okay. 3 ticks, poor sleep habits, 4 ticks. All this, like trying to imagine a man or IT professional. Let's take a woman. Why take man? Let's take a woman. A person who's juggling between family and work. A 35-year-old has subclinical hypothyroidism, is unmarried, has pre-hypertension, borderline or pre-diabetes, a HbA1c of 6.2, a mildly overweight, a BMI of around 23, 24, and has to get married. Her biological clock is ticking. LDL cholesterol on the higher side. I mean, do you realize where our society is going? And expectations from ourselves is very high. Do you want me to go on? Okay. This is what we have put together in Health of the Nation. And believe me, it is really scary.
It is scary. And what you're talking about, sleep, is scary as well. What is the report saying about sleep? Is it that Indians are not sleeping enough, or are they not getting quality sleep?
So sleep apnea is one of the sleep problems. Sleep apnea means that when you are sleeping, the oxygen supply to your brain is getting cut. What we are not also doing is not sleeping, or what we call as poor sleep hygiene. We are not able to sleep because we are not able to shut down our brain. Too many thoughts, too less sleeping hours, inadequate diet, lack of physical activity, too much of screen time, less hydration, all these contribute to a poor sleeping pattern. Maintaining different time zones for working. When I am supposed to be sleep, there is a circadian rhythm. So there is a cycle of 8 hours, right? If you can, in the 24 hours.
Correct.
So we have to sleep for 8 hours. We have to work for 8 hours, and the other 8 hours is for me to do whatever I want. So what is happening? We are working for 16 hours, and the other 8 hours is either we try to sleep for 4 hours and the other 4 hours again goes to. So pretty much most people are working for 20 hours and sleeping for 4 hours. In that 20 hours, it can be work at home, or it can be travel, or it can be pubbing, or so many other things which they want to fit into their lifestyle.
Okay.
So we are not sleeping. Even if we are sleeping, the quality is poor. We are not doing the deep sleep. We are only doing the REM sleep. So there is an inadequacy. There are some sleep experts. Let me add another matchstick to this whole thing. Who are trying to find out if lack of sleep is another trigger for early cancer.
Lack of sleep could be responsible for early cancer. That is what scientists and doctors are looking at closely right now. As someone who's looked at the Health of the Nation via its report, Dr. Srividya, any piece of advice that you would want to give our viewers who are watching you right now?
Internalize yourself. Where do you stand in today's world? am I doing justice to myself? Am I taking care of my health? How do I prioritize me? If only if I am healthy, I can take care of others. Remember this first rule of trying to save yourself in a flight, which is if there is a panic mode, that you have to first mask yourself, put the oxygen mask on yourself. Only when you're going to take care of yourself, you can save the other person. So ensure that you have 6 to 7 hours of good sleep, 10,000 steps per day, adequate hydration, and please find out what is your health risk status. We at Apollo have found a very, very simple score for you to tell where you stand. Please go and check your health status today. It does not mean you need to go for a health check or go to a doctor, but it will give you an idea where you stand. What is your health quotient? And let's be pro health. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Srividya, for joining us here, and thank you very much for your time on Mirror Now. This has been an instructive chat, and it's important to let our viewers know that we all think we are healthy, but turns out the nation is not very healthy, or at least that is what the Health of the Nation report released by Apollo is telling us. Thank you, Dr. Srividya, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a debate now across the world over whether alcohol beverages should have cancer warning labels or not. From 2026, containers of beer, wine and liquor that are sold in Ireland will be required by law to give a statutory warning. The labels on alcohol bottles in Ireland will have two warnings written on them. One, that there is a direct link between alcohol and fatal cancers. And two, that drinking alcohol causes liver diseases. Now, this law is backed by years of scientific research that says that alcohol can have multiple health risks. Thailand, Canada, Norway, all mulling a similar law. Should India be considering it as well, given that we are now the cancer capital of the world? That is something for all of us to think about. I'll leave you with that. For the moment, it's time for me to take a quick break. Up next, the cancer of corruption and the politics that surrounds it. For the moment, a break.